Talat Noi, it's not just hype, okay? It's a special part of the city.
Nothing poncy, nothing fancy.
Talat Noi is a start mini Chinese mafia when I was young.
What kind of business did they do?
Heroin, opium.
Genesis were visiting Talat Noi. They don't like people filming. Are you an expert photographer? This area here, I think, does have the potential
to be gentrified.
It won't become another Songwat Road. They really ought to pedestrianise the whole area. 50 years ago, if you said you were looking for hidden gems down here,
Get as lost as you can.
you were either a policeman or you was a gangster.
But today it's left one mafia only.
Are they famous?
Yes.
Too many vloggers, Instagrammers and TikTokers.
I was minding my own business today and I saw a cat.
One thing I love doing in my videos is going off the beaten track because it's fun, it's adventurous, you never know who you're going to meet, what you're going to see, what history you're going to find and what cats you're going to end up feeding. Now in a place like Talat Noi, it is pretty easy to stray off the beaten path, and if you do, don't worry, you're never far from safety. But what exactly is the beaten track in Talat Noi? Let's find out. So at the beginning of this alleyway, there's a manhole cover here and it's got lots of cats on it. It says keep calm and eat on. There's also lots of pictures of cats on the walls here too. I'm starting to wonder why that could be. So this is what people are saying about Talat Noi in 2026. I delved into the bowels of social media to see what people were complaining about, and this is what came up. So people are saying it's too commercialised around here. Too many Ponzi shops have opened up. Too many tourists around. You can't walk anywhere without bumping into someone or photo-bombing someone's selfie. Coffee shops are too expensive. Street art is no longer genuine. They ought to pedestrianise the whole area. And the Fiat 500 car has been vandalised. Well, it seems people will find anything to complain about. But let's see if any of that is actually true. So people are moaning that the coffee shops around here are too expensive. I've just been to a place upstairs called Mother Roaster. It's very popular and the prices there are no more expensive than anywhere else around here. But in this case, you're actually paying for the surroundings. So this must be one of the Ponzi shops that people are complaining about, and I really don't know why they would call this Ponzi, because you buy something here, part of the money actually goes to a good cause. So get yourself here, buy yourself an elephant, not a real elephant. Some people are saying the art in Talat Noi is no longer genuine, there's too much advertising, and I think their main frustrations are directed to this picture here, which is nothing more than a corporate advertising billboard for a company that manufactures luggage. And this exact picture was in many shopping malls 3 years ago, and a lot of people who walk down this alleyway do have their picture taken in front of it, so I'm pretty sure the company must be doing well out of it. But is this really appropriate in an area that sells itself on a historic experience? I'll leave that up to you to decide for yourselves. Anyway, kudos to the artists for painting it. I'm sure it was a tough one to copy and they got well paid. But can you blame the building owner? I don't think so, because they probably got an offer they simply couldn't refuse. So this is So Heng Tai Mansion, and it was the first mansion to be built in Bangkok. In fact, it was built before Bangkok was even the capital of Siam, so that shows how old it is. We'll be back later to have a look around, and I'll be talking to one of the family. So this manhole cover here depicts a very famous Talat Noi landmark, probably one of the most famous landmarks around here. I can understand why people would say this car has been vandalised, because it's sat here for so many years and then all of a sudden this sticker appears on the window. But the difference here is that the chocolate shop owners actually own this car and this warehouse. So this car hasn't been vandalised, it's been chocolatised. Well, this is hardly commercialisation, is it? These shops have opened up in the last couple of years. Nothing Ponzi, nothing fancy, just local people starting their own businesses. And I do recommend a good cup of tea at Ban Chim Cha. When I first came to Talat Noi in 2021, it was totally deserted, as was a lot of Bangkok, because there was this worldwide panic thing going on. And I'll never forget the feeling I had wandering down the empty streets and alleyways, not being bothered at all. So I think if you want to enjoy Talat Noi when there's no one around, I would suggest coming early in the morning, about 6 or 7 a.m, or early in the evening from 7 o'clock onwards when there's not that many people about, or come at midnight when it's really spooky. Or if you are walking around during the day and there's lots of tourists around and they're annoying you, there are still lots of places where they never go. And I'm going to show you some. So these are the types of places where tourists never venture. And it's not because they're not adventurous enough. It's just because they don't really need to, because these are just alleyways that link up the neighbourhoods, or they're shortcuts, and they take you to where people live or some people work. And all this stuff YouTubers talk about, hidden gems, you know, places where tourists don't go. I think in a place like Talat Noi, 50 years ago, if you said you were looking for hidden gems down here, you were either a policeman or you was a gangster looking for your stolen gems. So even these simple shots, walking down alleyways, there is an art to doing it and making it look interesting. And one way to make it a bit more interesting is to speed it up and add music. So this is Charoen Krung Soi 22. It's called Soi Troc Talat Noi, which means this is the street that takes you into the heart of the neighbourhood. Now at the top of this road on the corner is a shop that has transformed itself into a new tourist attraction. Well, this shop has become a tourist attraction in its own right. It's owned by an artist who has a very unique skill. He makes sculptures out of car parts, and you may have seen his work around town. Now his next piece is going to go up at Songwat intersection, and I helped him choose it. There's an old car across the road here. It's an Opel, or rather was an Opel. And I last filmed it in 2021. And since that time, it's actually had a new paint job. You wouldn't think they'd bother, would you? So one of the greatest moments in prog rock history happened here in Talat Noi back in the early 80s. Genesis were visiting Talat Noi and they were walking around and somehow they got separated. So Phil Collins and Tony Banks are walking around looking for Mike Rutherford. And Phil, he sees Mike, he says, oh, there's Mike and the mechanics. And Mike's hanging around this car repair workshop, watching them sitting on the floor working. And one of the mechanics gets annoyed. He turns around to Mike. He says, can you stop looking over my shoulder? And the rest, they say, is history. So this old house has been transformed into a place called 965 Bangkok, and the reason why I'm standing around the corner is because they don't like people taking photos, and the reason for that is because too many people have been going in there, taking photos of the stock, doing selfies and making videos, and then not buying anything, so you can hardly blame them. So now they've got a new security guard at the door. So I came here on the back of a motorbike taxi earlier and we rode in front of a guy who was filming something and I couldn't tell who it was because he was looking through the eyepiece of his camera. And I shouted sorry because I know what it's like when someone ruins your shot, and it turned out it was Paddy Doyle filming. So we've arranged to meet here on the rooftop. So Paddy, all these years you've been in Thailand, you've travelled all around every province.
Every province, inside and out, back to front.
But you've never been to Talat Noi?
I have passed through it, okay. I was making a video about Chinatown and I wandered into Talat Noi and I had a little walk around and I went, wow, this place is really nice. But I never really thought it was a big enough area to make a dedicated video about, really. In Talat Noi, to be honest, I thought it was a bit of an Instagram hype thing, you know, like all those metal shops, engine shops, I thought they're not real. They're just going to be where people take pictures and post Instagrams. But actually, I've been here for 15 hours now during my 24-hour stay, and all of those shops are legitimate shops. There's forklifts everywhere. They're all hammering engines. They're all actually fixing things and helping things. And it's a real legitimate working place with Thai people who are cooking barbecue on the streets and feeding their babies on the streets, and they all live and breathe this area. And all of our tourists, all of our hype beasts, all our Instagrammers, we're walking around awkwardly in between all of these people trying to make a living. And I love it. I love it so much. It's obviously extremely photogenic, extremely cinematic, but it's a real beating, working, tangible part of the city. You know, it's a funny story, right? I was minding my own business today and I saw a cat and it was feeding on some cat food. I'll send you the clip. And I was thinking, oh, I bet Bangkok Pat's just walked past here. 10 seconds later, I'm filming something and he just drives past me on a motorbike. Right, Pat?
Oh, yeah. And I didn't know it was you. I waved to you because I went across your shot.
Yeah, you ruined my video.
And I know what it's like, so I thought, oh, I'll just say sorry to this guy, and it was you. Yeah. So.
But yeah, Talat Noi, it's not just hype, okay? It's a special part of the city. Don't come during the hottest part of the day. It's pretty brutal, you know, because it's a place you explore on foot. Don't get your phone out, don't pin places and look for them. Just walk around aimlessly, go down all the alleyways, get as lost as you can, and that's when you'll find the real magic.
So Paddy, by the time this video comes out, you're already going to be married.
Yes, I'll have a finger, I'll have a ring on my finger, I should say. I know, and you'll come into my wedding, so...
I certainly will be, yeah. And on your travels around Talat Noi in the last, 13 hours, have you bumped into Rocky and Kimball? They're going to be lurking here somewhere.
They probably are. They love cats just as much as you, so I'm sure they're sniffing around, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh well, so anyway, enjoy your remaining, what, 7 hours you got?
I will. I'm going to go find a cocktail bar. I'm going to dip into a live jazz bar, have an early night at my hotel, and then in the morning, get up and film the morning of Talat Noi, put it in my YouTube video as if it was at the beginning as well. You know,
Shouldn't be saying that.
editing. It's called editing.
Nice one, Paddy.
No worries. Good to see you, man. Don't leave me hanging.
Cheers, mate. So this used to be a popular riverside bar called Ban Rim Nam. Some of you may have been here at some time. Now sadly, a couple of years ago it collapsed into the river. Now they opened up another Ban Rim Nam just up the road in Soi Songwat, but this one is going to be resurrected, hopefully to be opening in 3 or 4 months' time. I met the owner a couple of weeks ago and he showed me some of the construction progress.
Just fell off just a few days ago, if you want.
In the past, Talat Noi was home to various different types of industries. You had companies and family businesses importing and exporting various types of goods. You had blacksmiths, metal forgers, small businesses and factories making metal parts for boats, carts, sewing machines, or anything else metal. Anything they could crash, bash and smash and make out of metal, they did it here in Talat Noi. After World War II, when the Japanese left Thailand, they left behind lots of vehicles, and 3 Chinese businessmen had this idea to strip down the vehicles and recycle the engine parts here in Talat Noi, and that's where that industry comes from, which is of course still alive and well today. One thing I noticed very quickly when I was doing my research on Talat Noi was that there were hardly any old photos available of the area. If you look at the surrounding neighbourhoods, Bang Rak, Ho Lom Pong, Chinatown, there are loads of photos available of those places, but not the inner part of the neighbourhood alongside the river. Now, the main reason for that is because Talat Noi always had a really bad reputation for many years, and it wasn't the kind of place that you took a camera to and started taking pictures of. So Heng Tai dates back to the 1770s. That is even before Bangkok was established as the capital of Siam. That didn't happen until 1782. So not only is this mansion older than Bangkok, it's also the first mansion to be built in the capital. Now, before I'd first ever visited in 2022, someone had tried to explain to me what this place was like and the history. And then I visited for the first time and I was completely blown away at how this place has been preserved after 250 odd years. Now, I think the best way to get the full story of So Heng Tai is to talk to one of the family members themselves. So Heng Tai Mansion, was this owned by the first business family in Talat Noi?
Yes, his name is Mr. Son. Okay, he's the friend of King Thonburi.
King Thaksin.
King Thaksin, yes.
What was their business?
Construction, Chinese earth. medicine, gold.
And what was the house here? Was this like where the business was based as well?
Yes, believe it or not, like okay, example, that room is for like a gold cargo, because a long time ago in front of this house is like the jetty
So everything went directly from here
from to river.
onto the river.
Yeah, and have the like a jungboat waiting. Mr. Son, he's the first Thai millionaire.
He was the first Thai millionaire.
Yeah, and Mr. Po he has like at least 5 wives. Okay, and 5 important last name from Thailand is from 5 wives of Mr. Po.
And Mr. Paul was.
Mr. Po is the son of Son, Mr. Son, yes. 2 important names. Every time must to know him is the Mr. Lerd,
Mr. Lurt.
Park May Lerd, right? And the Pilom Park Di is the owner of Singha Beer. It's from our family tea. And my grandfather, he used to be the King Lama 5 photographer
So he went around the world with.
with
the
the King Lama 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, when King Lama 5 visit Europe 2 times in Europe, my grandfather, he will going with him to take the picture.
And he took the famous picture.
King Lama 5 and King Nicholas or King Tsar, right? This picture is very important for my history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, today for me, I'm the 7th generation of the owner of this house, and my kid, my daughter, is the 8th generation. When I was young, the first memory I see many of my cousins, my grandfather, my grandmom, my auntie will coming, and my family need to paying the liep tui. Liep tui is like the Chinese.
Oh, the mahjong
Yeah. From every place in Bangkok is coming.
to play mahjong.
Mahjong. And dinner together and back home. Okay, Talat Noi when I was young is very dangerous place. Talat Noi is a start mini Chinese mafia when I was young.
So what kind of business did they do?
It's like camping.
Gambling.
Yeah. Heroin. Opium. Easy to find in Talat Noi area. Yes.
What was the worst part of Talat Noi?
Allow this.
Was that because it was it was dark and there was small roads and
Yeah, it's a
soils?
very small road. It's not half the concrete. It's all mud. When landing, it's very dirty. Yeah, Talat Noi is this area. When people thief or robber, okay, we go for high in Talat Noi.
Yeah.
And the police very afraid this area cannot. They don't like to go and catch the criminal or catch the bad people here.
Was that because of influence?
It's various. When there was like this Talat Noi is very very dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the government ever think that, we should clean it up? We should change?
Okay, change for when start the community.
Yeah.
Okay, every Talat Noi people were like making the community. Okay, and my mom, she like a ship of the community.
So they had to. This community had to be really strong about
Yes, very strong.
that.
Yeah.
Talking to the government.
Yes.
Yeah. What happens to those mafia families? It must have changed at some point.
When I was young, we have like a 3 mafia for control Talat Noi and Yawarat area for bad business, like a prostitute, heroin, a casino, Chinese casino is controlled by 3 Chinese. But today it's left 1 mafia only, and you must to pay commission to him. Yeah, it's like a Italy mafia.
And now this one family, are they famous?
Yes.
Yeah.
But with my family, he is very good. He's very good guy. Yeah.
Where were the slums around Talat Noi?
Opposite with the Mali department, it used to old slum.
flat subsim.
Yes, you know, Fat Sapsin, long time ago, it's called Soy Zombie.
Yeah.
When you visit this soy, everybody is like a still like a zombie. Everyone. And after a big fire burn, I think 30 years ago, you know, like delete all slum and making the building. And that Sapsin building is used to be the old slum. Yeah, zombie soy.
Do you ever get people offering to buy this, telling you it can be a hotel or something like that?
Yes, it's used to offer.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry I can't to mention to whom.
No.
Yeah, yeah, because he asked me it's a secret.
What about the next 5 years in this area? Can you see a lot of commercialization coming to Talat Noi? More tourists, more shops?
Yes, it's more tourist or more shop is okay. But it's used to control the construction because our community will like agreement.
So the community have to agree to everything?
Yeah, it's very strong. Yeah. Okay, if my shop have start ice cream, okay, no one will sell the ice cream.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
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 People have to think carefully
Yes.
before coming
Yes.
and starting a business.
Yes.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the car, the famous car?
Oh, this the Fiat 500.
Yeah.
The owner is like my mom lawyer.
So he imported it 64 years ago.
Yes.
Left it there about 30 years ago.
Yes.
And when he left it, was it in good condition?
Good condition.
And what happened? He's never been seen, or
No, no one seen him.
was it on the news?
No. I don't know.
That's the real mystery
Yeah.
for Talat Noi.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think that's enough.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's so great to hear
Yeah, yeah.
these stories.
I will give the story when I was young. Yeah, when I know. Yeah.
And thanks for the book
Yes.
as well. So Talat Noi is not just a riverside neighbourhood, it's actually a lot bigger than people realise. And I'm going to show you another more interesting side of it now. The bridges, the old palace, the canal, and of course Charoen Krung Road. This was the first road to be built in 1863, and the section that goes through Talat Noi is quite up and coming. So this might be a place you'll be visiting in the near future. In fact, I highly recommend it. So the corner house is one of a few old buildings along here that have been renovated and repurposed. Opposite that you've got the old China Daily News building that's currently being converted into a hotel, which will be a prime spot for Talat Noi. Further down you've got the warehouse, which we'll be visiting shortly, and then also along here you've got bars, restaurants, plenty of coffee shops, plenty of street food. There's actually a few hostels and small hotels as well, and a couple of small clubs and rooftop bars. So it's a nice place to come and have an evening out. And at the very end of the road, you've got a transformer whose name I can't remember, but it definitely brightens up the intersection. So before we take a look around the warehouse, I want to show you this old photo of the area from 1950. And this is the future location of the warehouse. And from all these old shop houses here, there's only one left standing today. So when I heard they had a rooftop here at the warehouse, I thought that meant we might get some good views over Talat Noi, but sadly we're not high enough for that. But I did do some drone footage last week that I'll show you. Now the warehouse have been hosting interesting events for the last 3 years or so. I've come to quite a few in the last year, so I'll show you some photos and video that I've taken of those. First, I'm gonna have a quick chat with Rocky and Kimball. So how's the day been?
It's been very unexpected.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
We basically were planning just to go through Talat Noi and maybe up to Songwat Road, and yeah, we basically came over to this side of the street. We went through the warehouse area. We went to the corner. What was the place called? The
Corner house.
The corner house. Looked at the record shop upstairs. So interesting and unexpected.
I went to my first rooftop. Okay, it was very exciting.
Was
for
that your
me.
first rooftop?
Very first, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
your channel.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Okay. Campbell, go ahead.
Well, I'm Kimball. This is Rocky of Rocky and Kimball.
So we started doing YouTube. I was working for a big global corporation. I started YouTube because I had just put it off for years because I was like, it's going to be so much work.
Right.
I just stopped thinking, did it. And then after a year, we came to Bangkok to visit and realized, okay, it's so affordable to live here and we love it so much. We could just quit my corporate job and we could move here. And so we did. And so, yeah, it's basically just my husband and I left my job. We moved to Bangkok. We bought a condo in Bang Na. We're trying to just be a fun, positive space, basically.
Right, we're basically just living our lives.
And Kimball and I are very opposites. I'm super extroverted, he's introverted, so I drag him to everything that we do.
I think they got that from my lack of talking.
And then he recharges for like a week afterwards. So after this, he's going to be on his little charging port. So Kimball and I grew up in Idaho, in the United States, and we started dating really quick. We've been together ever since, so it's been like 27 years. And we've traveled all over the United States. We lived in England, we traveled through Europe. And that eventually brought us here. So it was a long road to get to Thailand, but we're so grateful that we're here.
Any horror stories in Bangkok?
No. I feel like it's the safest place we've ever been. Like,
it's been incredible, yeah.
yeah, and like Kimball and I are gay men, obviously. I mean, we don't hide it, but like we feel safe here. We don't, PDA isn't a big thing here, but we feel like we could walk hand in hand if we wanted to here, and
Yeah.
we can walk through any part of town, any time of day, and feel safe. And I think that's such a beautiful thing that we weren't anticipating or thinking about before we came here, but it makes a huge difference when you feel safe in the country you live in.
Have you got a bucket list of where else you're going to be exploring in this fine city?
Oh my gosh, everywhere. I feel like we just want to explore all of the areas that we have, because we see so many YouTube videos of people going different places. We want to see all the places we haven't seen before, because I feel like part of the joy of exploring is like the discovery phase, where you see something new or something exciting.
There are a few specific places that I do want to visit, like the Erewhon Museum and Ancient City.
We haven't been down to, what's the one on the water down here? The
Canal.
amusement
Oh,
park.
Asiatique.
Asiatique. We haven't even been
Right,
there.
you should
It's like
go.
we should go there, but we kind of want to like find stuff that's off the beaten path. So if you guys know any, let us know.
I'm very glad you came on today.
Oh my gosh,
it
me
was
too.
an absolute pleasure to show you around.
Thank you.
Rocky, Kimball,
Pat.
and check out their channel. I'll leave a link in the description.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks, guys.
I've just seen a poster for DJ Spiller. He'll be appearing at the warehouse on the 24th of April. Now, if you don't know DJ Spiller, he was responsible for one of the biggest dance tunes of the noughties, Groove Jet, which came out in 2000. Anyway, he'll be playing at the Clutch Bar on the 2nd floor. So, Sanya, what was the origin, the foundation? How did this all start at the warehouse?
I think it's a generational thing in a sense that, Talat Noi and Chinatown, people knew since 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that it screamed for places like this to be gentrified, sorry about using that word, but, being cool again. And I think back then, the owners didn't feel like they didn't have the interest to open their leases to tenants who turn it into cafes or art galleries or restaurants. It started, I guess, after COVID, 2021, 2022. It's a new generation, kids who have been given the lease from their parents, and so this is how Keng was able to find an agreement and turn this into this multifunction event space and destination restaurants. It's new generations of the landlords who are now much more open to having cool concepts in their shop houses. Downstairs is a little concept store called Pochette, featuring merchandising from the warehouse. Second floor you have Ant Nest, which is vintage, second-hand, pretty cutting edge, good quality garment. Just opened today, Philip Huang on Songwat Road, amazing designer. So this is a reason why we need to encourage more retail, more designers to open their shops here, either through concept store where multi-brands can come, multi-designers, or having their own brand, because it will give more reasons for people to walk around and wander and discover things. I think we're in a phase where we need to have designers or other entrepreneurs seeing this as this is now the time to move in.
So there are two highly recommended restaurants here at the warehouse. On the 4th floor is a place called Electric Sheep, and on the 3rd floor is Funky Lamb. I've eaten at Funky Lamb twice now, and I must say, fantastic. You've been open since September.
September last year, 2025, yes.
Okay, what's the concept behind the menu here?
So we specialize in Lao cuisine. People would know it as Northern Thai or Isan, but Northern Thai and Isan come from Laos. So mostly from where I come from, Luang Prabang, and also from specialties from Paksay, Champasak. Our difference is that we sort of elevate the cuisine, bringing imported proteins, beef, organic pork, free-range chicken, but still true to the Laotian style of cooking, charcoal and very herbal. Thai food, it's quite spicy, but it's got the sugar, the sweetness to tone it down. Laotian cuisine is much more balanced. In Laos, we consider food as medicine, so lots of plants, lots of herbs, lots of fresh plants, fresh herbs. We eat to feel better.
So if someone's new to Funky Lamb and they want to choose 3 things on the menu, what do you recommend?
You need a grilled meat, whether it's a sidewall or hanger steak or sir long hai. Sticky rice, of course. Sticky rice is the staple. Some jiao, and I always recommend either yam. So grilled meat, yam, either from a salad or a lap, sticky rice, and if your heart is into it, a Lao som tam, which is called tam makung, papaya salad. Yeah.
Electric Sheep, how long has it been open?
We've been around for around 1.5 years.
And the menu, it's quite unique, isn't it?
Yes, so our menu comes in a form of a screen, and all of these films, they actually represent each one of the dishes that we serve here.
Okay.
So just so you understand the gimmick a little better, you could feel free to take a look into them.
I'll choose a random one.
Yeah, perfect.
Put it in. Okay.
Okay, so in this film, what do you see inside?
Fish.
It's actually an eggplant.
Is it an eggplant?
Yeah.
Let me look closer.
This eggplant film, it actually represents one of our dishes called the burrata charred eggplant.
I thought it was a swordfish. But the aubergine can look a bit like a fish.
I don't know about that.
In a way. When I'm not wearing my glasses.
It could pass as a dolphin this way, I guess. Well, all of these films, yes, they represent the main ingredients to each one of our dishes. So you could actually pick what you'd like to eat using these films, not knowing what the dishes are. So there's a little bit of a surprise element to them.
So if someone comes here and they're not quite sure about this way of looking at the menu, you've got a proper menu, haven't you?
Yeah, of course, we do have a proper menu. We have the QR right over here where you could take a look into our full menu. For the food, we actually have an a la carte menu and a tasting menu. Now, the tasting menu is perfect for those who just want to have a little bit of everything. It allows you to sort of taste our 9 signature dishes, but in a smaller portion.
That's something I've never seen before. No one else does that, right?
And yeah, actually, all of these films, they're all AI generated. It also ties into the concept of the fact that conceptually, this restaurant is inspired by Blade Runner, because the chefs, they actually found a connection with this part of the city. It looks very post-apocalyptic in a way, where there's a lot of modernized buildings, but also blends in with a lot of this old town element that you see in a post-apocalyptic city like Blade Runner. And in those cities, they tend to lack a lot of nature, which Bangkok is slowly starting to, miss out on nature, I think. And so what we were planning to do here is we created a lab where we make everything ourselves. So because we are a Mediterranean-style cuisine restaurant, certain ingredients that are commonly used in the Mediterranean, like olive oil, olives, caper, we don't actually have them in Thailand. So instead of actually importing them, what we do is we rely on fermentation using Thai ingredients to mimic certain flavors. And we even have a garden in the back where we actually plant the herbs that we use for the garnish.
Last question. Where does the name come from?
So Electric Sheep actually comes from a novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which was which the movie Blade Runner was inspired by. So that's where the whole thing ties in together.
I should know that because I think of myself as a film fan. I've seen Blade Runner, but I didn't know it was...
Actually, the names of our cocktails, they're actually inspired by Blade Runner characters.
Oh, nice. Well, thanks very much for your time.
No, thank you for your time. Thank you, Pat.
Thanks. One thing you may have noticed on YouTube is that there aren't any drone videos of Talat Noi. No one has ever sent a drone up to see what the area looks like from above, until today that is. And we got great weather for it. And we just have to hope that we don't fly too close to the sun. Well, you can't miss the classic Gothic architecture of the Holy Rosary Church as you go past on a riverboat. Now, it dates back to 1784, and it was established by a group of Portuguese priests who'd come across the river from Cudichin, Tombury. And apparently, after the arrival of a group of French clergymen, they fell out. So the Portuguese priests wanted to establish their own church on this side of the river. Now, the original building lasted until 1891, and it was completely renovated and rebuilt into the building that you see today. Now, it has two names which can confuse people. It's known as the Holy Rosary Church, but its official name is the Kalawar Church. Sampan Tawong District Office sits on the site of an old fort that was built in 1861, and this was one of 7 forts that were built for protection along the banks of the Klong Padung Krung Kasem Canal, which served as the outer city moat. The fort was demolished sometime in the 1920s, and the district office, with its striking 1970s architecture, was built in 1974. The Marine Department is where you'll find the nearest riverboat pier for Talat Noi. It's also where you'll find a statue of Captain John Bush. He was an English sea captain and harbour master who served under the Siamese government until he retired in 1893. And there's also a street named after him. Charoen Krung Soi 30 is called Soi Captain Bush. So I consider this temple to be the northernmost point of the Talat Noi area. It sits between Songwat Road and the river. Now if you look up Songwat Road, you'll see a big mural on the side of the building. Beyond that is the trendy part of Songwat Road towards Chinatown, and that's where everyone seems to be going and making videos and taking lots of pictures and drinking lots of matcha lattes. I won't be going up there in this video. I probably won't be going up there in any video actually, because there's too much riffraff, and all that riffraff probably thinks I'm riffraff, so that kind of evens itself out. Anyway, this temple here has some interesting and macabre history. Last time I came through here to film Vanishing Bangkok a couple of years ago, I said that these houses could have been on the verge of demolition because that is what I'd heard. As you can see, that hasn't happened. In fact, the opposite has happened and they've been renovated. I also said in that same video this was Windsor style architecture, which isn't actually true. I don't know what architectural style this is, but it looks pretty. Well, I certainly recommend visiting the Talat Noi Museum. It gives you a good bit of background information on the area. And they also show a 5-minute short film every 30 minutes on the top floor, so definitely recommended. Now, this area in front of the museum used to be the Marine Department, and I've got this old aerial picture of the area from 1958, and it shows a canal coming through here. Now if you look down the drain over there, you can actually see some kind of waterway, so maybe they didn't fill in that canal and just left it running underground. Every time I used to walk past this building, I always wondered when it was going to fall down because it always looked so rickety, old and really fragile. Then a couple of years back they started renovating it. So I took some photos of the old rotten wooden pilings which they reinforced with concrete. And now here we are 2.5 years later, and it's a lovely place where you can get tea, coffee, you can buy local arts and crafts, they got a Pac-Man arcade game, and a few months back they held a photo exhibition called Vanishing Bangkok. So this is Hong Kong. If you've come to Talat Noi, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it. If not, then you've probably seen the logos. They're stuck up all over the place. Anyway, it's a great place to eat and drink. Sometimes they have live music. They've got great vintage furniture as well. And along the riverside, they've got a really nice garden, and you can just sit there and watch the boats go by. And it's also a fun place to watch people filming themselves, trying to be famous. I remember coming here about 4 years ago, and the whole area was flooded because it was rainy season and the river levels had got high. So about 2.5 years ago, what they did was they raised the levels of the roads and the pavements up, and they put in a new drainage system. And with that new drainage system came some very decorative manhole covers. There are 8 of them around the area, and you'll see people taking photos of them. But if you want the set of 8 postcards with these covers, I suggest you come to this shop here. This is the kind of art you should be buying if you come to Talat Noi. This is all done completely freehand, no stencils, no AI, no programs, nothing. And I will leave a link to this guy's Facebook page in the description. How did you get started doing these kind of drawings?
ครั้งแรกที่เริ่มทำเนี่ยก็คือเมื่อก่อนเนี่ยทำงานออกแบบ Interior Designer เป็นเวลาประมาณ25 ปีแล้วก็ถึงจุดอิ่มตัวก็ยังไม่รู้ว่าจะไปทำอะไรก็เริ่มฝึกใช้พื้นฐานที่เรามีอยู่เรื่องของ Perspective เรื่องของการ Sketch แต่อันนี้ก็คือต้องมาฝึกการเขียนด้วยปากกาโดยที่ไม่ได้ร่างดินสอเป็นเวลาปีหนึ่งฝึกอยู่ระหว่างที่ยังทำงานอยู่ก็คือเหมือนเป็นจุดเริ่มต้นคือต้องการบันทึกอาคารสถานที่ในกรุงเทพในประเทศไทยแล้วก็สะท้อนวิถีชีวิตของคนไทยก็เป็นการเหมือนบันทึกเรื่องราวณเวลาหนึ่ง
So how long would it take you to draw something like this?
โอเคประมาณ1 ถึง 2 วันก็คือแล้วแต่ดีเทลแล้วแต่ความละเอียดแรกๆเลยตอนที่สเก็ตครั้งแรกๆเนี่ยจะสเก็ตด้วยความเร็วจะดีเทลจะหยาบๆหน่อยก็จะใช้เวลาประมาณบางที3 ชั่วโมง 5 ชั่วโมงแต่พอเราทำงานมากขึ้นไปเรื่อยๆเนี่ยมันก็เริ่มแบบมีดีเทลอะไรเยอะขึ้นมันก็จะใช้เวลาเยอะขึ้นประมาณวันหนึ่งระหว่างที่นั่งขายไปด้วยวาดไปด้วย
I think it suits the environment of Talat Noi. I think it's going to become more of a centre for art, for culture. And you've got a very prime spot here, right in the middle of Talat Noi. This photo of these two cats was taken back in 2020, and since then thousands of people have walked past it, not realizing that these two cats actually live at the end of the alleyway. So really, they are local celebrities hiding in plain sight. And so tell me a little bit about what the exhibition's all about.
이번 전시는 어떤 대단한 이야기는 아니지만 과거에 이곳에 있었던 어떤 풍경, 변해버린 풍경, 사람들 더 이상 볼 수 없었던 것들을 내가 같이 그 풍경과 사람들 속에 같이 있었다는 것을 사람들과 같이 쉐어하는 그런 전시입니다. 사진 작가로는 한 7년, 8년 정도 이렇게 활동을 했고, 관심이 있는 것은 이제 주로 사람들과의 소통과 이런 오래된 기록들, 사람들에 대한 기록들, 사람들의 모습, 이런 것들을 주로 하고, 그리고 저는 이제 이런 사진들을 통해서 서로가 공존하고 소통하고 공존하는 방법에 대해서 공존하고 있는 활동을 주로 하고 있습니다.
So do you go anywhere else around Bangkok?
방콕에서는 이곳 달랏노이, 야왈랏하고 그 외 지역은 현재 상크라브리를 가고 있습니다. 역사나 그 외에 어떤 문화 같은 부분도 관심이 많지만 사실 제가 여태까지 찍어왔던 사진들을 종합해 보면 사람들이 어떻게 서로 공존하고 생활하고 있는지 그런 부분에 많이 초점이 맞춰져 있습니다.
You make content, you film stuff. Are you an expert photographer?
No, I'm not an expert anything.
I would say you're a great hobbyist photographer.
I think we're experts at trying to capture our life in real time without any filters and trying to make it feel as natural as possible. Like we're experts at being ourselves, and that's the only thing we can be experts at, I think. It's just really nice to see different artists and hear their stories, and I love when something makes someone passionate about something. It doesn't matter what it is. So I love that he moved here 20 years ago. He just started shooting all these photos, I think from 2017 onward, and he's captured all these memories of this area that are slowly changing or disappearing. And so, like you said, the residents here, it's like something really interesting for them because they're seeing people they used to know, they're seeing places that are maybe gone now, and it's just really beautiful to see those moments captured. And I've always been obsessed with capturing a moment because when I was really young, my father passed away and I only had like videos of him. And so I used to be obsessed with like capturing moments and stuff like that. So this definitely speaks to me because it's like seeing families in their homes, or even a cat like peeking out from behind a doorway. It's like, but yeah, no, it's just really beautiful, and I'm so glad that he has a space to share that, and that people in the neighborhood can come and see it.
Yeah,
What
no,
else?
well said.
Kimball's really shy, by the way. Sorry.
I think everybody knows this.
We speak for each other.
If you've ever driven from Bangkok to Chinatown along Charoen Krung Road, you might be familiar with this bridge here. This is the Pitya Satyan Bridge. Well, it is still nice to see some of these older historical information boards still surviving around Bangkok. They are slowly being replaced one by one. Anyway, this tells us that the bridge here now is the second one that was built here in 1899. The original bridge dates back to when Charoen Krung Road was first built in 1863. That was an iron bridge that could open up in the middle to allow boats to pass through. Now, there is an interesting story behind the name. It was named after Prince Pityalat. He was the son of King Rama IV, and he lived not too far away from here in Talat Noi Palace. Well, I've been doing some really deep research, and with a bit of help from old photos and old maps, I have tracked down the former location of the old Talat Noi Palace. Now, the actual palace building itself was about halfway along Soi 29, and those two newish looking white buildings are in the spot where the palace once stood. Now, that street is called Soi Pityalat, which is a bit of a giveaway because it was, of course, Prince Pityalat that lived at the palace. Now, back in 2012, there was a fire in this area that apparently destroyed the remaining section of the old palace wall, but I'm going to take a closer look. So according to my research, and trust me, it was very deep research, those bricks there, up against the tree, which has grown round it over the years, is the last remaining section of the old wall that was part of Talat Noi Palace. Well, nice to see some of the old warehouses still surviving after almost 100 years. Now, this canal, the Klong Padung Krung Kasem, dates back to 1861, and it was dug as a fortification moat along the outer edge of Bangkok, and later served as a vital trade route for boats coming in off the river. They could call at all the factories, warehouses, businesses and markets along the canal and get some boat noodles before continuing back out onto the river without having to turn around, because it was a very crowded canal, as you can see in these old pictures. Nowadays it serves as a nice green corridor along one side of Talat Noi, and is also the boundary line between Bang Rak and Sampan Tawong districts. There is an electric boat service that runs along this canal, but that comes to an end back there up at Hawlompong Pier. And even if they wanted to extend the route down here, they couldn't, because all the bridges are far too low for boats. So communities living along here do get the canal all to themselves. Now, I have heard that this area could be ripe for redevelopment sometime in the future, and I can certainly imagine hotels and coffee shops opening up along here, and maybe some of the buildings could be converted into some really nice canal side apartments. Well, this area was once a very busy canal-side community with ice factories, charcoal factories, as well as the Sawadee wholesale market. And there used to be a wooden bridge going across the canal here, carrying trucks back and forth. And locals feared for the safety of this bridge because it wasn't in very good condition. So in 1960, a concrete bridge was built further down called the Sawadee Bridge. And because there were many boats coming up and down the canal, they had to build it at a very steep incline, meaning buses and cars and trucks going over it had to be quite careful. And there were a few accidents where vehicles had failed to brake in time and crashed into the shops across the road. Anyway, that bridge was finally demolished in 1972 and replaced with the low bridge that you see today in 1978. If you walk down this alleyway 100 years ago, you'd probably see some dodgy business going on. And I'm not just saying that because it's dark in here and it's scary. Talat Noi was a dangerous place. It wasn't the type of area you took a random walk in late at night, unless you had business here. And the type of people who would have had business in Talat Noi 100 years ago late at night are not the type you'd want to meet in a dark alley. So loads of people take pictures of this old car. I don't know how long it's been here, probably 30, 40 years. Couldn't find any information. But does anyone wonder where this alleyway goes? Probably too scared to walk down here. And even though it's night, it's even more scary. But I want to see how far it goes and if you can cut through at the other end. And I wonder who lives here. There got to be people who have the businesses taking the engines apart. Hopefully, no one's going to tell me to stop filming or tell me to get the hell out of there. So that just about wraps up this extended Talat Noi video. Hope you found it interesting, educational, or even exciting. Please do subscribe if you haven't already done so. Like, share, leave a comment, all that kind of thing. And if you want to support me and support the channel, you can do so via the Buy Me a Coffee link on the screen. That just leaves me to say what I always say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.